Salutations to you and everyone watching. I'm Evan, and I have the sun in my face right now, but I'm putting up with it because I think it'll still make the lighting better than if I had the blinds closed, but we'll see how it looks. So today's video, I want to talk about what I personally want to see from the Nintendo Switch 2, whatever the sequel to the Switch is called. Now, we've seen some leaks from it, and we had one a few days ago that seemed pretty legit. They're not going to be changing too much about the Switch, which I think is smart. It doesn't need much to be changed. It just needs some enhancements here and there. It just needs the next iteration of it, next version. So what would I want to see from that be? Well, first off would be backwards compatibility. Make it play every Nintendo Switch game that's currently out there. You can play it on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I believe this has been confirmed. I mean, I suspected this probably would be the case. It's not a big ask. A lot of people probably would not buy it at first if there was no games for it and it can only play Switch 2 games. And I know you might be thinking, well, that's what happened with the Switch 1 when it came out, couldn't play Wii U games, right? And it didn't have much games on it at all except for Breath of the Wild. People were just calling it a $300 Zelda machine, and they were kind of right at the time. But that was going from the Wii U to the Switch. That was a big difference. Going from a Switch with games to the next Switch with no games, I think it will not make it do so good. But so they'll definitely need to have backwards compatibility working out of the gate, which I believe, like I said, has already been confirmed. So that should be no problem. And I would want to see some patches happen because assuming that the Switch 2 will have more power than the Switch 1, which it better be, right? Better be more powerful because the Switch is already super underpowered as it is. We're going to want to see some games just kind of play a lot nicer on the Switch 2 than they do on the Switch 1. A lot of games look rough. If we could just up the resolution and bump up the frame rate from 30 to 60 FPS, that'd be awesome. And I think we also did see leaks that they do have backwards compatibility patches in the works for, I think it was either Breath of the Wild in Mario Odyssey or Tears of the Kingdom in Mario Odyssey. So it seems like they're already working on that, which also further points that they will be doing backwards compatibility, like the whole thing. So that's like the number one thing I want to see first. If it doesn't have that, then I'd wait a long time to buy the Switch 2 until it has a lot of games on it. So, no drift. Very important. The Joycons, if you're a Switch owner, you probably know. The sticks and the Joycons, they break, and they're designed to break on purpose. They don't use Hall effect sensors. They don't use those. They use the controller sticks that drift over time. The more you use them, they break. And this is just to get you to buy more controllers. Like, this one's broken. Now I got to buy a new pair, right? And it makes sense. Other companies do not. I made a whole video talking about this. If you want to watch it there. And you can send them in your Joy-Cons, get them repaired for free, but that means you're without your Joy-Cons for weeks, and they send them back, and they're fixed for a few weeks, and then they break again. I've had 2 sets of Joy-Cons repaired twice each, and they still drift. So, and then if you have a Switch Lite, you got to send in your entire Switch, which is not ideal because you can't take the Joy-Cons off of that. So it's not a good solution. They need to make the sticks not drift in the first place. So there's that, and also Joy-Cons. If you just take the normal Switch and you play it in handheld mode, for some games, especially long play sessions, it can be a bit uncomfortable to hold, especially on the back. It's just kind of awkward, like where to put your back fingers that are on the front of the controllers, on the back of the device. It's kind of awkward. There's not really a place to put them. If they could put some like grooves in the back of the system or back of the Joy-Cons that can make them more ergonomic, that'd be great. And there's already my favorite way to play the Switch handheld is with this Split Pad Pro by Hori. That thing is fantastic. Literally just like a Pro controller, but it's split in half, put on one side and the other side, and there's back buttons on it too, and there's like a turbo button and programmable buttons. It's great. It's great. I've had those for years. I had the first versions of them when they came out with the Daemon X Machina branding on them. They're fantastic. Best way to play a Switch handheld. And huge battery improvement. Now they've improved the battery. They didn't really announce that they did it, but they did have another version of the Switch, not the OLED, but just the Switch itself. It had a different code name or whatever, where the battery was like basically doubled. And I think it is probably more improved on the Switch OLED as well. I don't remember exactly how it works there, but I know the battery is much better now than on the Switch than it was when the base model came out in 2017, which is one I have. And yeah, the battery doesn't last long at all, especially because I've used it over and over the years, and batteries deteriorate over time. So, but if they could get like a huge battery improvement that makes it more comparable to something like the 3DS or I mean, even just like your phone, I think that'd be a lot of people would appreciate that. That would go a long way. You wouldn't have to carry around like a big battery bank for it and a cord for that and everything that comes with doing that. You could just not have to worry about it, and that'd be great. I think a lot of people would really want to see that. So they're definitely going to have to up the performance of this thing, because this base Nintendo Switch, when it came out in 2017, it was just a little bit more powerful than the PS3, but still under the PS4 and Xbox One, which those things, when they came out, were already like mid-tier PCs in 2013. So by the time they came out in 2017, they were weak. That's why they had to release the Pro versions. And the Switch just gets blown out of the water by the PS4 and Xbox One. And now you have the PS5 and Xbox Series stuff. So a lot of developers are not putting their games on the Switch because it would be too much work. Either they wouldn't run on the Switch at all, no matter how hard they optimize them, or it'd be a lot of work. And even when they do put games on the Switch, they might still not have the best experience for the user, the player, even though they try their absolute hardest. So the Switch is super limiting. If they can have it be more powerful, it would make it easier for developers to put their games on there, and then have a lot more third-party support, which would get a lot more people willing to choose the Switch over something like the PlayStation or the Xbox, right? So that'd be great to see. And then, I mean, imagine what Nintendo games could look like if the Switch was anywhere near like modern gaming platforms, right? Because Nintendo, they've really honed their art style, and they've always been good at like taking advantage of their weaker hardware and still making games that look pretty on it. They know how to do that. So I mean, if they get a big, huge hardware boost, Nintendo games and Mario games, stuff like that, are gonna look absolutely fantastic. Or the next Zelda game, that would be, I'm sure it'd look beautiful. And then 4K support, of course, I think that has to come. Even if they don't improve the specs that much, I think it'll still support 4K just for like streaming and stuff like that. When they put like the YouTube app on there or Twitch or whatever. Is there a Netflix app on the Switch? I don't know. I know there's a Hulu one. Just for stuff like that, you need 4K, because right now the Switch only outputs up to 1080p, which why they did it that way, even in 2017, they should have known, because they're trying to make this thing last. They should have known. I don't know why it's only at 1080p. That's unacceptable. It looks like crap on TVs and on monitors, because TVs, pretty much everyone has a 4K TV now. And if you have a monitor, it's probably at least 1440p like mine. But the Switch is only going to output 1080p, and then whatever display you have has to upscale it. And the home screen, I don't know if I said, the home screen only goes to 720p for some reason. So it's stupid. A lot of games don't run at 1080p either, docked. So they run lower. Like Mario Odyssey, which I've been playing right now. I played it right before I started recording this video. That has dynamic resolution scaling, so I believe it can go up to 900p, but it can also drop to like 720p and stuff like that. So when the device itself only goes up to 1080p, and I'm playing on a 1440p screen, that by itself already doesn't look good. And then the game is not even running at 1080p, it's running at 900p at best. It does not look good at all. It looks really crap and terrible. And so they should not have foregone high resolution support, but they definitely need to have on the next Switch too. And like I said, have backwards compatibility patches so that the games can take advantage of the new hardware and then play nicer with modern displays. So there's that. I think everyone can agree with that. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. And better Bluetooth. It took them like 5 or 6 years to add Bluetooth support to the Switch. I don't know why it took them so long, because we knew it had it. And I think that's how the Joycons work. Correct me if I'm wrong. And maybe some other kind of like wireless technology, but I'm pretty sure it's Bluetooth. But something like that. But we knew it definitely had the capabilities. We knew Bluetooth was built into it, whether the Joycons used it or not. And it took them like 5 or 6 years to find that. And when they did, it's just sucky. There's so much like latency. Not so much on YouTube, but it goes up if you're playing games. And I don't know why there's so much latency. Like if you like play games on your phone, there's like a little bit of latency, but it's nowhere near as bad as on the Switch. It's like a full second or two. I don't know what is up with that. They botched the Bluetooth support on it for sure. And the fact it took them 5 or 6 years to have Bluetooth there in the first place, and you just had to play with wired headphones or wired earbuds, was ridiculous, right? Because in 2017, like the AirPods were already out. So everyone's already switching over to wireless stuff anyways in the first place. So that was super weird. And then my last note here is just miscellaneous stuff that the Switch never got, like themes, folders, and eShop Music. All of this stuff was on the 3DS, and I believe it was on I don't know if the Wii U had themes, but it definitely had folders, and I think it also had eShop Music. But when the Switch came out in 2017, no themes, no folders, no eShop Music, and also no web browser. Now the web browser one is better understandable because it'd be a lot of work for them to put in a web browser that's like safe and secure and works with a lot of sites and stuff like that. And also a lot of people wouldn't really need the web browser anyways. Like I appreciated the web browser on my 3DS because you could do some cool things there, look up game guides, stuff like that, even though it was a really sucky browser. And I'm sure there's going to be some kids who don't really have like other devices that are going to want to take advantage of the web browser. But overall, most people are not going to use that at all. And that's why the newer, I know PlayStation, they got rid of their web browser. But just the stuff that they omitted from the Switch software, like themes, folders, and eShop Music, other companies have copied. Like the PlayStation 4 had themes, folders. I don't remember if it had music or not in the store, but it also had a web browser. And then when the PlayStation 5 came out, no themes, no folders, definitely no store music, and no web browser. They copied Nintendo, what Nintendo did with their Switch software, going from the Wii U to Switch, and they use that going from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. Like other gaming companies, they look out at what other companies are doing in any industry, right? And then they copy. Sometimes even if it's a bad decision, like what Nintendo did, where we still don't have themes. We kind of have folders. It's like, it's not good folders, right? They made the folders. They had a few years later, they had some stupid solution to no folders, but it doesn't really work. It's like this groups thing, and it's weird. Why can't I just make folders, right? It was so easy on the 3DS. Why can't I do it on the Switch? I don't get it. So, and eShop Music, eShop just feels really bland. They need a dark mode for it too, but like, man, just put the music in there. The music in the 3DS was so fun, and they would change the music all the time, different events like Halloween, whatever was going on. It was great, and the themes were so cool when you bought a game. Like I bought Hyrule Warriors Legends, I believe that's what it's called, on 3DS, and it came with a really cool theme. It had all music, and it just changed your home screen. So much personalization that really made the device feel like cozy, yours, and just really memorable. And it's not on the Switch, and I get that they wanted to make the Switch a little bit more grown up, not just for kids, because a lot of people saw the Wii U and they figured it was just for kids. But it's too bare bones. It's just lacking in personality. There's nothing to it. It's just stale. It got neutered. There's nothing to it. It's just this Nintendo device is a hollow shell of what Nintendo devices used to be. It doesn't really feel like it. It feels like it could have been made by anybody, not just uniquely Nintendo. So if the Switch comes out with Switch 2 comes out with themes, folders, eShop Music, that'd be all great. And so that's my list right here. So to recap, backwards compatibility and patches make Switch 1 games run better on Switch 2. No stick drift at all. I want the controllers to work that I pay for, right? You know, am I greedy or what here? Come on. Everyone needs that. The controllers should work if you're selling them. A huge battery improvement. As powerful as Steam Deck. I don't know if I explicitly said earlier I want it to be as powerful as Steam Deck, but after the Switch, you've seen the rise in handheld gaming PC devices, and they're pretty powerful. So if we can get anywhere as near as the Steam Deck, that'd be great. And 4K support, obviously, better Bluetooth and themes for eShop Music. So that will do it. Now, let me know if I forgot anything, if there's anything I'm not thinking about, anything that you personally would want to see on the Switch 2. Of course, let me all know in the comment sections below. Sure, I'll read it. And that'll do it. So I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.